Hi, I'm Peter, and we're here at Kaku Studios. We're here with Reverend Grace, and we're going to be talking about psychic readings and other energy forms in the universe and consciousness and some of the things that have been happening on Earth over the past couple of years and decades. So Grace, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Grace Provost. I am a non-denominational reverend. I do Akashic Record readings, psychometry. I do ancient ceremonies. I speak 4 ancient languages, which are ancient Anunnaki Syrian, ancient Sumerian, ancient Egyptian, and a little bit of ancient Hebrew, all simultaneously. I use it as the languages of light that I use from my past priesthoods. I do ancient ceremony here on Maui. I use them for healing, and I do other things as well, especially lectures in ancient archaeology. I do have a bachelor's degree, a bachelor's of art from Brigham Young University in Utah, and I use this when I do ceremonies. So is there anything else you'd like to know?
So over, in America and just all over the world, people are protesting and demanding change. Does this have to do with this global consciousness of change and awakening that people are feeling?
Yes, it does, and it stems all the way from back in ancient times to today. Because with Akashic Record readings, what is Akashic is it's kind of like a grand library. Everything that was ever created, every thought we ever think, everything we do has been recorded in the heavens. Created spiritually first, then physically. And so we kind of call this like a grand library in the sky. Also with our consciousness, is an energy. We're energy beings or spiritual beings, which are having a physical life. So that's why right now everything towards 2012, everything runs in cycles, everything is energy. We're united this way together in energy patterns. So it's still good. So I'm going to be giving Pete here his Akashic Record reading. It's basically, I'm going to tell him how many lives he's had, spiritual, physically, and etherically, how many lives he's had on other planets, how many physical lives here on Earth, and the connections to his past lives, which all makes up him today. So we're going to start with his past and how many lives he's had totally. And what I do is, when I read energetically, since we're energy beings, your left hand's always your in, your right hand's always your out. So I'm going to hold his right hand, and that's how I read people. I read their energy from their Akashic Record. So let's start with how many lives you've had total. 92,362. And sometimes when I do readings, I get different information because I'm reading different patterns. So just in case you want that information. You're kind of an old soul. You've been around a long time. Your soul was birthed in galaxy 92 MB. Physical lives, 2,090. Physical lives on Earth, 922. Other planets you've lived on, which I forgot to give you last time, was you've had several lives, previous lives, spiritual lives in other galaxies. We came into our solar system over 250,000 years ago. Your first life was on Saturn, which is a ninth dimensional planet. Somaya Kakolu went to Mars, had several lives there in the etheric form. Came to Earth in a pre-Lemurian life as a spiritual being. Left Earth and went to Venus. Venus is kind of like a college for your souls. A lot of souls go there for extra learning to figure out what they're going to do on Earth. You had another life up in Antarctic, still Lemurian, but more of an etheric, lower frequency being, but still not physical. You're learning how to work with ice and different elements. You came down through Seattle and had a life there as a hunter, learning different things about animals and woods, scientific motives. We went over to Illinois area. You had a life there as a farmer, and you were interested in the ancient Indina, which you also had a past life as an Indina, which are connected with the Mayans, also have giant skulls there, and they were about 9 to 15 feet tall. They're called the Mound Builders. We went up to a life in New York, which I didn't tell you before, connected with the Indinas. You were a Native American hunter as well. You've had down to Atlantis. You had a life down in Atlantis, worked with the pyramid underneath the sands there. We went over to Europe, Egypt, which I don't think I passed on last time. You went up into Europe again. Let's see, you had an important life in Germany, France and England. Germany is a really important life for you.
Yeah, go into that if you can.
You were connected to the Nazis. You were what I would call an underling in the army there with the Nazis. Did not always agree with the philosophy, but you were gathering information to be useful for modern times, as far as technologies and science and different things like that, and spirituality. So it was a learning life for you. You had some Mayan lives, one in Peru, Easter Island. Pretty much that's it. Let's see who your archangels are. Archangel Uriel and Gabriel. Gabriel's more for protection and travel, but your great grandfather on your mother's side is family watching over you. You said he was from Sweden? Is that what he is? Swedish. You've had 19 lives together with that grandfather, great-great-grandfather. You've had 33 with your mother, 22 with your father. 6 with your sibling. How many siblings do you have? 2. Boy, girl?
Well,
older than you, younger than you?
Older than you?
Okay. Your oldest brother? 9 lives. Your other one, 6. You're I don't see any connection with the Galactic Federation. Extraterrestrial, it would be Syrian, like me. Sirius A. You're a lion tribe from Sirius B, and you have bird tribe from Sirius A. So that would be like a lot of your ET DNA that's in you, and knowledge from the ancient priesthoods from there. You hold all the ancient priesthoods in you from your Lemurian. That's why you're here in Hawaii. A lot of people connected with Hawaii because they've had ancient Lemurian lives. Pele, Madam Pele, is available to you, she says, if you ever wish to do ancient ceremony with me. Up in Haleakala, you can use your priesthoods. Other guides, Quetzalcoatl for South American Mayan and Aztec areas. I don't sense anything right now, but they're not important, but you do have other teachers and guides with you always. Wow. So is there anything you want to know at this time?
No, just like how we were talking about before about just the global consciousness.
Okay, yeah, we do have individual consciousness and we have global consciousness. Just as it's the microcosm of the macrocosm. So like as one cell holds all our knowledge, we in a body form is like a living brain cell for Earth. We're connected to her, like, and then herself, she's like a member or a cell of the solar system. And so it goes microcosm, macrocosm before you go out. So our solar system would be like a living cell or brain cell for the universe or for the galaxy, and then the galaxy for the universe. we're all tied in together. And according to planets and all this, the energy is light, and light is wavelengths, and wavelengths is vibrations and frequencies and colors and tones. And the whole cosmos works that way. And so each person, we have our own set of frequencies and chakras and energies. What they call the Merkaba is actually an energy pattern that's like 55 feet around us and goes in, and we can raise our frequencies and lower our frequencies. And it has to do with not only your DNA, but our spirit and energy as well. So you have your own personal frequency, includes from all your knowledge, from all your past lives and everything, as like a thumbprint. So you even have technology today that can locate you anywhere on the earth. Unfortunately, it's with the Black Ops military, but they have that technology. That's why they did the whole genome project, so they can locate people and do bloodlines. Because certain bloodlines carry certain DNA from like Syrians or Andromedans, Arcturians, reptilians, whatever, Greys, different things. So that is all included in our energy patterns, and that's how we connect with different things. And even the planets themselves have their own planetary tones and songs and energy patterns, which is interesting. It's all interconnected. You can actually, and it's also through mathematical sacred geometry. That's why they have like crop circles. You can actually, they have knowledge in the crop circles through sacred geometry. And there's ley lines and energy ports and vortexes, and that's all with sacred geometry and energy patterns. So everything's light and everything's energy.
And so the world is kind of waking up to this, is becoming more accepting to this?
Yeah, it all has to do with cycles and the Mayan calendar too. It's all tied into that, and pyramids and all that. The cycles, like the Mayan calendar, there's like 5,125 year cycle. There's a 4.4 million billion year cycles. They're all coming to an end. This whole trillion cycle thing. It all has to do with Leo and Aquarius and Pisces, and we go around. Each one of those, like Leo, each one is like 26,000 years for cycle. We're exiting the age of Pisces, and we're entering the age of Aquarius.
So Pisces is more conflict. And
more conflict.
Aquarius
we're entering
is
age
peace.
Water.
And so that's this consciousness is overcoming.
It's actually I have a map. I'll bring it for our next lecture. It shows the cycles, and part of that cycle is from Leo. Leo's on one end. It's like a circle, like a donut. Leo's on one end. Aquarius is on the other. When we're ending the sleep period, the dark period, or entering the wake up period. So the next, we're going to enter into like a golden era.
And so you can literally see that on the streets all over the world.
Yeah.
That's
where the frequency has been since 1987, where they had the harmonic convergence. We've been speeding up time, and the light's getting stronger. So our frequency, not only for Earth as a whole, is for us too, and it's affecting also the solar system and the universe. It's all what they call, we term it ascending. We're raising our frequency and wave patterns faster and faster and faster. So in effect, linear time will end, and we'll actually pass into the higher frequency, which is the fifth dimension. So each dimension is like piano keys, and it's got octaves in between. So we've already gone through the 12 octaves for third dimensional frequency. That ends with all the calendars on 2012, December 21st, and we start a whole new calendar. It's not total destruction of Earth, but I'm not saying there aren't going to be and have been. We've always had cataclysmic events on Earth. 4 or 5 different civilizations prior to Sumeria have all been destroyed by cataclysmic events. And so, but now it's new. It's a new game, new energies, new frequencies, and we're actually ascending with our physical bodies this time, which is a whole new ball game. And they've been stepping us up with each of these incoming frequencies. You can actually feel the patterns of energy. People get cranky, their neck's sore, I don't know why, can't sleep.
And the weather's affecting how you feel.
Yeah, tsunamis, earthquakes, stronger storms, more tornadoes.
The climate change.
The ice melting, and unusual places, species totally disappearing, new species being found.
None of it is coincidental. It's all for grand
reason.
reason.
Yeah, it's all for grand. They call it the divine blueprint. It's a plan that was created by the creator of all things for our universe and all the planets and stuff in it. And
maybe go over these stones one more time?
Just one more time. These are, if you can see them, I'll take them out, kind of dip them on the table. They're the platonic solids. It all has to do with sacred geometry, crop circles, ley lines, vortexes, all it is. And what it has a great little saying on here, it says, geometric symbols are visual instruments that can help bring out our vibrations into harmony with the rhythms of nature. The same refined regenerative technology that nature has evolved can be used in ways to help organize our own thought patterns. So these are just little symbolic crystal representations of consciousness, of the energies, patterns, sacred geometry, how it all's tied in. This one kind of looks like a little soccer ball. It has a little five-sided. This is dodecahedron, which is a representation of the universe. Then we have our water isohedron. Can't pronounce that very good. It has little triangles all over the sides. Octahedron is air, which is a double pyramid. And then we have hexahedron, which is earth, which is a cube. And we have tetrahedron, which is fire, which is a pyramid. But they all have sacred geometry. There's a book called Awakening to Zero Point that talks about it, and I'll show that in a future time. I also have some great books called The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life by Drumvella Melchizedek. He has 1 and 2, and it all talks about our consciousness. It talks about mathematically, and what it does and how everything is tied in, even the ancient Anunnaki and the pyramids, all of that. He speaks of it in his book. There's excellent books out there. Do your research. Everything's on the internet now, so you can YouTube it. And I love to YouTube and listen to the little videos. David Wilcock is on YouTube. He has 2012 Enigma, talks about all of this and ties it in a very humorous way. There's a gentleman named Nassim Haradim, same thing. I think he's from South America. He speaks of it same way. Drumvella Melchizedek's on YouTube. You can listen to him. There's awesome YouTubes out there. The internet's one of the best gifts to mankind to get out information.
And that's probably part of our awakening.
It is part of our awakening. Technology was given by the extraterrestrials to help us to disseminate the truth, because there's so much untruth out there. And just do be careful on the internet too, because there's a lot of baloney on the internet too, but pick and choose. But those ones are ones that I trust. David Wilcox. These have done years and years of research, Drumvella Melchizedek.
So this 2012 isn't something humans should be afraid of?
No, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's not total end of the planet. It's just a change. The minds even say, Don Alejandro, he's the chief of the chiefs of the Mayans. He's got YouTubes out there. It says, don't be afraid of 2012. They've actually survived through 2 of them and have them in their memory. And it says, it's a change in how we're doing things. It's a change of our cultures and our thoughts to world peace, world love, oneness, a golden age. All of the shamans, all of the different, every culture talks about a golden age coming. We're in it. We're beginning it. And so that 2012 is all part of that. Yeah, we start a whole new calendar system in a golden age. Watch the movie, what is it called? Mimsy. It talks about, it's kind of, that's how it is. At the end, they talk about world peace and technology, and that's an excellent movie. The Mimsy, or the last Mimsy, or it's a Disney flick. It's really cute. So the Book of Mormon actually talks about that. Well, it's the one that's on the end, the Recipe of Mormon. So they actually have ancient Egyptian technology, or not technology, hieroglyphics that were found by Joseph Smith in New York. The angels guided him to it. It's called the Book of Mormon. But also came with it a mummy that had ancient hieroglyphics. It's called the Pearl of Great Price, but it talks about, and they have ancient names for all the great central suns all the way down. And through creation, how our solar system, everything was created. So, it's cool. Yeah, but there's a lot of this, if you pick and choose and learn how to read, good books.
And so, when you say the archangels are those the angels? Those are the angels that are in the presence of God, right?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them. There's all kinds of archangels. It's like a whole realm where just angels exist and stuff. So it's like a dimension. So I would say, like, here's like the central seat of the creator of all things, and then roundabout is like the archangels, and then there's regular angels, and they have a whole hierarchy down to, and there's also avatars who are way up there. Like Avatar, the movie, that's cool. And then, I love that movie. And then it's those avatars, which they're not angels, or archangels, but they're beings of high spirituality. Most of them are like, don't even have a physical body anymore. They're just energy. So, I mean, we have to put pictures in our heads to
Yeah.
describe these beings.
To visualize.
It's just like a lot of the ancient extraterrestrials are not physical. They're actually like live inside what we consider a big geode, huge geode, where these crystals are actually where they live inside the crystal, but they're energy beings, and this would be their city. John Bellow, I think, talks about them when he's done ceremonies. He's actually gone into some of their cities in a out of body kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like crystals hold knowledge, because we have crystals. We actually have quartz crystals in our blood, in our DNA. So that, and in our pineal gland and stuff. So we're like this crystal skull. We download information into this, and it's like a little mini computer.
Yeah,
Oh, pay attention to your dreams. Yeah,
and more vivid.
yeah. I've got some what I thought were dreams, were actually visions or remembrances coming forth, and one of them, and a lot of them are symbolic too. Because there's one, I had a dream. It was like a castle, but there was bad guys in there, and then what they're doing is they're like taking people and sacrificing them on altars. And so what I did, I saw myself on the top thing, good guy. I crawled up the wall on the outside and was in there, and I went in and actually rescued these people. But I could see myself crawling. It was really bizarre. And then I helped the people down to the ground, but I was kind of like still up above, and the bad guys came running up and they set the building on fire. So it ended with me over here on the, I rescued all the people, but I don't know if I died or not, because later on what I did was I changed the dream on purpose and saw myself crawling down. Even though it was on fire, I escaped. So I was like, whew. I wanted to end well. But I always remember because it was so vivid at that time. And I think it was symbolic because that's when I had joined the Mormon church. And it was a learning thing for me, a spiritual learning thing. So I was overcoming the darkness, I think, in me. Or learning to protect myself and helping others. Something like that. But yeah, there's books out that help you, with the symbols in your dreams, dream books that can help you interpret your dream. But I just kind of write down what I get, because I don't know if their interpretation is different. So,
Sure.
But anyway, yeah. But always write them down anyway. I always do a daily diary, and I'll ask a question, and then I'll just listen to the answer and write it down as it comes. It's like automatic writing, they call it automatic writing. And you can get some good answers to your questions by learning your higher self. You can also picture in your mind a place for me, it would be like up in the mountaintops and sitting in a field full of flowers and this white snow-capped mountains and there's trees around me and there's a river. That's like my sacred place I would go to in my mind. And a place where you can and then you just breathe. You learn to breathe, you push your belly button out with your hands. It's like someone who sings or someone who swims, holds their breath, you get more breath that way. In and out, in through your nose and out through your mouth. That's how they meditate. And then just quiet your mind and just write before I go to bed, when I get up, and then in the morning sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, just cool stuff. Questions I want to ask. It doesn't always come true, but it's a good guide, kind of, things I want to work for. And choose, you have to choose either to ascend or to stay on Earth and whatever. Choose to ascend. Higher frequencies, yeah.
Exactly.
One civilization died because we got smashed by a meteor, a big huge meteor, which became the Gulf of Mexico. And that, of course, caused big cloud. Everything on Earth was basically destroyed. The Atlanteans were playing around with like HARP or like with lasers and crystals and pretty much destroyed what we've had more firmaments of the heaven, which protects their layers that protect Earth. They destroyed one. Fooling around with stuff they didn't know. They're trying to create synthetic, what they call Merkaba, which is your energy ascension thing. They were playing around with that and pretty much caused a great flood. There's been several great floods or floods in local areas. The Mayans talk about 4 previous civilizations that died. One died from fire. One died from the thing hitting the earth. One was great rains came and big storms. That was probably when the cataclysm event from the Atlanteans occurred. But they talk about 4 previous civilizations. One was from a Disney flick. It was really cute. But it's a really excellent movie. And of course, Star Wars got all the connections to the Jedi Knights and the dark side of the Force and
So
Star
there's a
Wars.
lot of secrets
truth.
in our society and in our
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
That's
And there's a lot of truth out there too. Bits and pieces you have to find.
Mm-hmm.
But we're actually more and more is being released now, such as the Great White Pyramid in China. There's pyramids all over the world. They finally got pictures on satellite that you can go see. Just Google pyramids in China, and you can see them now. Before it was like you never got to see any of that. So it was really good. And
well, thank you very much, Reverend. This